Are you struggling to get through the start of Mircotopia?
Maybe.
Having trouble getting those precious inventor points?
What's it to you?
Well, grab a beer as we journey up this tech tree.
Does whiskey count as beer?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Mircotopia. We are going to be blitzing through the tech tree today, so hopefully, if you've been watching some of our last videos, we have made our way up to this point here, and if you're following along, maybe this is where we're up to about 2. But we are going to now blitz through most of this tech tree to go from this to this in the shortest amount of time possible. So what I've done right now is I've just completed unlocked the radar tower, which we'll get on to very shortly about that, but I've literally just completely scrapped everything that I was doing, and I'm now going to show you an optimal layout to try and get through this tech tree as quickly as possible.
You are a sad, strange little man.
First of all, we're making a nice hauling trail to make sure that all the ants can go around everywhere. All the ants are going to come in from this section over here. Now, don't worry too much about where we're setting up everything on the island and how this looks at the moment. This is going to change probably very shortly, but we'll just make this the best we can at the moment to get as far through the tech tree as possible. So when we're coming off our little horn-in line here, your first actions for your first counter gates you want coming off are going to be your most important tasks.
Well, duh.
The first one, you're going to need your hauling trails. This one is going to be feeding the queen. It's already feeding the queen at the moment, and yes, you want to be having the queen fed about every 7 or 8 seconds.
The queen needs food. The babies need food. The queen makes babies.
As you can see up here, it's draining basically 0.1 energy each time, which means within about 10 seconds you'll be back down to the same point you want, and you want to keep this up because you want to keep the population up and keep it going. So we're going to have a few more ants on this trail. Already have a sentry ant on it to make sure that the trail never stops and it keeps on going. We're going to have 2 trails. It will become obvious very shortly what the second trail will do, but it's going to be for our inventor ants. So we're going to have one pile that's going to be feeding our queen, and one pile that's going to be feeding our inventor ants. So that's going to be our second counter gate coming out. Go there, go there. Again, this is all going to change probably very quickly. Don't get too close to your setups at the moment. This is going to we're going to be changing this up quite a bit before we start getting into real factory kind of setup and keeping it the way it is. So your next one you want to go in, get that there, is going to be to get your stock coming in. Okay, we have just been finishing setting up our factory on this side. So we've got iron plates over here, we've got screws, and then we've got iron being smelted over here. And as you see, just within about 10 minutes or so, we are already almost about to hit our 50 population, which is going to be this one here. There. Excellent. So we are already at this node here, which has now opened up these. We've now got our old gate, we have an assembler, and our iron floor tiles. They are all mostly important, but the ones we really want to go for are the old gate and assembler, and want to head up to the elder trail as well on this way once we've collected our fabric, which we should be doing right now. Why isn't our fibre being collected? Why isn't the fibre being collected? Oh. Ugh. Why isn't the plant cutting being collected? Can you plant cut? Oh, yes, of course. I forgot. The little guys can't plant cut. Oh, I completely forgot about that. So that was my mistake. I completely forgot about that. The small guys don't plant cut. It's the bigger guys, which is just what we're about to go into. So that's going to be our next setup. So we want to now improve these little guys into much bigger guys, into workers, and then put them into inventor points. We still want to keep our population up, so we do want to keep some of these big guys alive to keep the population up, and then when we've unlocked our old gate, we can then send them to be inventors, and we are trying to get as many inventor points as possible straight away. So I'm putting a little combiner up here to combine into workers, and then going to put a counter gate up here so that we only get 2 to come up. Oops. And fill this in. Oh, lucky this one's old as soon as we go in here. Oh, I just skipped through. Never mind. Okay, so these guys become bigger workers, and what we'll do actually straight away, I've just paused the game there for a second, is we want some of these guys to become inventors and want some of these guys to go back into the population. So let's get our inventor around the other way. Now I want to leave a little bit of space because we're going to do a little bit extra in a second, so we want a divider to say some people go over here, some workers, some ant workers go over here, and some go back into the population, because then that will lead to something in a bit. So what we can do is we can have these guys go down, but before they join that main line we can then put them into plant cutting, because I'm stupid and I forgot the fact that the little guys cannot do plant cutting. I'm an idiot. So put that down there, so those guys go and do that. Have a couple of extra guys go do that, and then the rest will go into the main loop and complete the factory. So these 2 will go off. Again, it doesn't have to be neat at the moment because we are just starting out, and we are going to be changing this layout very shortly, but for the moment we'll just keep it like this. So these guys are going to keep doing this because we've got a counter gate here that's always going to put in 2 ready to go, basically, and we know that all of our other operations are being filled up as they go around. So we know this is the end of the line here, basically. These guys are not doing anything, they're just going around in circles. We're going to need something to feed the inventors in a second. Put that up here. We are going to be getting quite a few of these. There we go, that's all looking nice. So these ants are going to come off and they're going to be feeding our inventor ants once they come out of their combiner here. And that should start working very shortly. Here we go, they're coming round. Fortunately they last for 7 minutes or so, and they're going to need 10 of these. We're going to change this up very shortly, but at the moment this is just a quick way to start getting more points as quickly as possible. So we are aiming for our old gate, our assembler, and we are heading towards the timer gate as well over here. They are all going to help us in the next part coming up. We also need this fabric and to get our main trail. Everything. All of these will help us improve very quickly. So we've now completed the fabric condition, and while that was just going on, just while I wasn't recording, I also put in an extra trail just over here, just to keep the queen fed. Basically it's a secondary dispenser right here in case this one runs out. We've got another one over here that will always keep the queen fed, and we want to try and keep that population up to the next level, which is going to be coming up very shortly. So completed fabric, we go on to here. So now we've completed this, we can now make a fabric workshop, but we need to have 10 inventor points. So we are just waiting on this. As soon as it's come up, you want to start popping, and we are already up to 18 here. We had started off with 8 and now we've got 18 just by popping that one. This one's going to be fed very shortly, so is this one, and we're going to start really getting up our points very quickly on this. So fabric unlock, we definitely want that. This is what we're waiting for. This is what we need. This is the carry gate. We really want that coming up, so that's another 30. That won't take too long to get. So we need fabric. Now silly me, I didn't make our little factory factory here long enough to include fabric in this. So when you do yours, make sure you leave some space, because yeah, I'm an idiot. I've just set up our factory here for fabric. It takes 2 fibre each one, so it takes about 15 seconds to actually make it. These guys are making fabric right now, which is another target we need to get. We are also getting our inventor points. Oh, what's happened here? Yes, this is what problem we could have, is that the big guys decide to come through that way, which we can sort out very shortly once we've got our cascade. Where is it? Yes, it's up here, but we are going to get there very shortly. Right, so we've got 28 points. We want just about that, a bit more, and then we go assembler, drone, cascade. It's 50. I forgot it was 50. Okay. So we'll get that very shortly. We'll get that cascade, and that problem is going to go away, because that's what the cascade does. It is a great tool for getting people where you want them to go. Come on, okay. Another 50 going up. What we could do, technically, is we can put more guys in here. And we are now at just over 60 inventor points, which is great. Now, what's the choice we have is cascade, old gate, and carry gate. Now, carry gate lets you carry certain material across a certain trail. Old gate takes the old ants off a trail, and the cascade only certain workers go down this gate, certain workers go down this way. So which of these is probably better to get first? It is the old gate, I believe, because if we get this, then we get to only change certain ants in once they get old, and it also increases the population. This opens up the Elder Trail, which we need another 50 points, but we've got the old gate to get started. So let's go on back here. While we're getting those extra 50, we can start setting up our Elder Gates. So, sorry about that, you probably might have noticed during that I had to move my factory down here. A little bit ugly setup for the moment, but that was me being silly. I forgot to account for the fabric coming into the factory. But anyway, so it's moved here. I've now made these little boxes for each little station. So, if you are still carrying, let's pause it for a second. If you are still carrying when you're here, you have not fed it to this guy here, which means you need to go over to this guy because he's waiting to be fed. If you are not carrying while you're here, you've already fed that guy and he's done. So you need to move on, and then you need to move on here as well. If you have not fed him here, if you have fed him here, you need to go all the way back to the beginning. This is the beauty of the carry gate here, because then it helps you to really make this a lot more automated and a lot more, well, efficient, basically, to work with. So we need to have ants going in, and we'll put these ants here. We need to put an old gate onto each of these as well, just to make sure that that is going on. See, fed, 7, 9, 10. Then this one, he goes on to the new guy, and he's fed. We squeeze this guy, and we get our points. So we see these guys going along here. that's it. Straight away. That took how many seconds? And we've got that many points straight away. So this is how we get a lot of points very quickly. Let's get some old gates on the go. To show this guy here is feeding this guy. Once he's done, he'll go right back to the beginning, although we're already having new people in the beginning. Do this now. Why is this guy not doing it? Because we are now blitzing through our stockpile, because we've now made this very quick and very efficient. We are going through our stockpile, which means we probably need a few more people on this line to keep it saturated. So go back, that's the end line. Where is that? That is there. So maybe have about 6 on there to make sure that we are getting a stockpile going on here. But we do need to keep this stockpile going. Oh, no, we do have our backup over here because of the queen as well. So if this stockpile runs out, this stockpile will take up the slack for feeding the queen, because we need to keep the queen fed. Boom, boom. That took, was about 30 seconds, I think that was, of actual gameplay. We've already got 2 more inventors. Got 2 more in the go as well. We are starting to rake in those points. So let's get our Elder Trail. There we go. That is all of the Elder Trails eldered up, and it's quite obvious now to see where the old gates are and where all the old ants go, because it makes it very visually nice to see where everything's going. So make sure that you are always keeping your trails active and they are getting the material they need. They are making the materials. Make sure that your factory are still working and making the materials you need. Again, it doesn't necessarily matter about the look of it at the moment. We will manage to change it in a little bit, basically, when we start getting to a bit more up the tech tree, when we start getting other things. But now we are starting to get, look at that, 3 inventors I literally popped in the last 10 seconds or so. So we are starting to get a lot of inventors straight away, and a lot of inventor points. So we are starting to make our way over here. Our next goal, 75 ants over here, and we'll start getting to this, which will be our floor iron scan. So we'll start to find more islands going out here. So this is a very quick video, basically how to get your inventor points up very quickly. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, hopefully I'll see you again next time for maybe going on to the next island. And I'll just pop this inventor point here, and we'll end the video there. Thank you guys. Hopefully I'll see you next time.